everyone. Thought it was about time I did an up-to-date video of my craft space. So here it is for you today, and I'm going to share some of my storage solutions. I'm into IKEA. I really love a lot of the stuff that's in IKEA, and it works well for craft supplies. This one here is a Billy bookcase. This has got lots of my Stampin' Up stamps and CDs that have got stamps in. Then this is a couple of the Kallax units with the boxes, the fabric boxes, Drona, I think they're called, the fabric boxes. On the top here, these are for my paper pads, chipboard, paper blooms, just a nice little matching set there. And in there, in the hat boxes, I've got silk leaves and flowers, some paint projects and bits and pieces like that. And then there more large photos, envelopes, photo papers and things like that. And then here we've got some more box bits. Now this is where I keep all of my collections of my paper, of 12-inch papers. I get those and keep those all nicely filed. I've got a Christmas kits box there too. And then over in this corner I've got a little tote there that I take with me to retreats and occasionally if it's a long crop. This here is a little wheeled unit, and it's got drawers in it, and as you can see I keep my mists, and there's some MDF things in those top drawers there too. Then this is the Alex drawer unit from IKEA again, and I've got everything labelled. I've got my Canon selfie in there, embossing and glitter. Then I've got watercolours and watercolour pads and paints, all that sort of thing. This is my little area where I keep my layouts that are made but then haven't found their way into a album just yet. Below I've got drawers with doilies and tags, bits and pieces like that. Then this is my large tools, and that's where I keep my crocodile and my heat gun and some punches and things. Here I keep my card blanks. And down the bottom I've got paper pads and some baby sort of related things. In here I've got a few magazines, and I've got my We Are Memory Keepers stamp platform, and these are my favourite pens, my Kaisercraft gel pens. I love those because that's always the colour you need wherever you need to do a bit of journaling. My Brashos, which I drag out from time to time. And then this is an old CD rack that I have repurposed, and as you can see I've got all these clear plastic wallets and boxes that I get from Hobbycraft, and everything is labelled up. I'm a bit of a freak when it comes to labelling, as you can see. On the top there, that's another 2 CD racks that I got off FreeCycle or somewhere similar, and a few more boxes up the top. Over in this corner I've got my paints and paintbrushes, rather, not paints, and I've got them in a carousel unit. This is an old repurposed mug tree which I've got my sellotapes on. My hair straighteners is for ribbon, not hair anymore, and that's my heat gun. I do like carousels. It does give you the opportunity to find things much easier. So here I've got my little desk tote that I keep on an old carousel, Lazy Susan, that I found in a charity shop from back in the 70s. This is another little carousel, little bits of embellishments that are on cards, things like stickers and my brads and buttons and coffee cups, of course. Then here, this is my CD stand here, not CD stand, my iPad stand rather, and that's something I made a little while ago. This is my view from my window, so as you can see I have a lovely outlook here, and I'm very lucky, and a nice bright desk. I've put a piece of glass on this top. This worktop is only a temporary worktop, it's just a bit of plywood that I painted very quickly last summer when we first moved in. The glass is fantastic though if you're doing any inking or painting, anything like that. You can just clean it all off afterwards with a wet wipe or a damp sponge. Stampin' Up trimmer, it's my favourite. And then here, this is fabulous. I don't know if anyone has these. This is a Hobby Lobby ATG gun. It's 100 times better than the old 3M type ATG guns. You can see it's got a cartridge and it just pops out and you just pop it straight back in. I can do it one-handed and then close it up, and that's it. It's all loaded and ready to go. Oops. Oh, one-handed I can't do it so well, but two-handed it's a doddle, believe me. Then here, another little carousel. I've got my pens and my Sharpies and my granddaughter's little unicorn pen, my bin, my kitchen roll, and here I tend to have things that I might be able to use as a title or next to a title or a subtitle. Then here, of course, I've got another carousel unit. It's got gems, all sorts of things in the bottom, all sorts of weird and wonderful things in here. And then over in this corner, I've got a few more paints and, of course, my Big Shot. And I've got my little Tattered Angels baby blue, which I take with me to crops and retreats. In the corner, it's my bags that I use for going on a retreat. And then this is a big shelving unit that is quite handy. It's got lots of boxes where everything's labelled, of course, and I have things like wood veneers in the tops here, and then this is embossing folders. These are MDF things that I might want to alter, some photograph boxes there, and of course all my cardstock across the top. My Cameo is on the top shelf. I do drag it out once a month or so and then use those, and this is just extra storage that I've got all down the bottom. I've got my alphas here, and how I do that is I just go through it. They're roughly in colour, so if I want a pink set or a blue set or a green set, there they are, roughly all together with just a few different colours in there. I have got one of these rolling trolleys from Hobbycraft that's very similar to the one from IKEA, but I don't use it that much, and it's slightly disappointing. I can't seem to get it right, but nevertheless I have got one. Then my favourite bits here are these drawers. These are the IKEA Helmer drawers, and they are absolutely full of all my things. So next to my desk, immediately next to my desk, is all the little mini pads. Then I've got larger ink pads, and then I've got my adhesives, and over here I've got white cardstock, cream cardstock, black cardstock, mirror, etc. And here I've got punches, circles, ovals. Again, they're all labelled. And then in here I've got all my scraps, autumn coloured scraps, yellow scraps, pale scraps, and I keep them in these little pop-up wallets, so if I specifically need something, I can just come along, get a piece that seems to go with my layout, and that's it. Then over this side I've got lots of flowers, flowers, got flowers everywhere because I do like flowers. Then over here I've got buttons, and again all labelled, and then here next to my desk also I do have more of those kit things. I don't know what they're called. They're cropper hoppers anyway, and you can get them and they're great because you can store everything upright and they don't slip over. Down the bottom I've got some of my albums that I'm currently working on, and then dies and stencils. I think that's it. I have rushed through it a little bit because I don't want to bore you too much. It's longer than my last video by a couple of minutes, but I hope that you can see that you can store things quite easily without going to a lot of expense, because things like this old CD rack are really useful, and not many people keep CDs anymore. We got rid of all ours and it's all on digital now. Up the top there in those cupboards, that is full of albums as well. I've got to store them somewhere. And then on the wall, unbelievably, I've got 2 box frames waiting for 2 layouts to go in, but I've never got around to putting them in. So maybe I'll get round to that soon. I hope it's given you some inspiration as to how you can organise your own stash. I love creating, and this little expression sums me up perfectly. Enjoy!